Well, I think what we've seen is, regulation started off with being, markets being very underregulated, and that's what resulted in the global financial crisis. We've moved from that to being now really in a situation of excessive regulation, so the pendulum has really swung. And the issue there for Asia is twofold. One is a lot of the global regulation was put in place to deal with extremely complex products that really emanated from the United States and Europe. So what we've found is, Asia is following on and implementing these regulations, and really they're kind of building a Rolls-Royce when really a Honda is really all that's required.
As you said, rules are needed to govern capital markets, but how will tighter regulations negatively impact economic growth?
If you look at Asia right now, it's a very much what we would call a bank lending market. So that means that people put their money in a bank, and the banks lend to companies, to individuals to buy homes, etc. The tighter that regulation is, it makes it much more expensive for institutions, for companies to raise money that they need to invest in building factories, creating innovative products, and that has to ultimately be passed on to the consumer, which ultimately impacts negatively on economic growth.
We've seen a lot of regulation come out of the US and Europe. Which of these have impacted Asia the most?
One from the United States has been something called the Volcker Rule, which makes a lot of sense in theory, and that is where it prevents banks taking proprietary risk, i.e. they're just taking risk for their own benefit and not for their clients' benefit.
In your view, what is the biggest risk to the Asian financial system?
Europe still poses the biggest risk. We don't believe that the Eurozone crisis is fully played out. It's only one hiccup away from creating another big blow-up. That being said, we never know where crises are coming from. There may be something else out there that I'm not aware of, others are not aware of. And no one expected the crisis that we had 5 years ago. So who knows?